Brutally honest signs in the zodiac. Just based off my personal observation, in my opinion, don't argue with me, argue with your mother. Now, a lot of people like to paint these particular signs as the villains of the zodiac. But the truth is, if they really love you and they're being honest with you, consider that a blessing, okay? These signs will always keep it real with you. And people need to appreciate that a little more. Like in the last video, I'm going to pick one for each element. So we're going to start off with the earth signs. This should be obvious. The most brutally honest earth sign is a Virgo. And of course it's Virgo. Virgo's ruled by Mercury. Mercury is the planet of communication. It rules how we think. So they're always going to give it to you like it is, straightforward, and not hold back. Not gonna lie, sometimes the delivery could be a little off. Virgos could be a little harsh sometimes. But just know that it comes from a place.
All right, Shalom. Let me get straight into this lesson. But you saw the folly. I'm going to address this lesson to the women of our nation. You need to hear this. So you got, some of our women, pretty much about 7 out of 10 women are into the so-called zodiac sign, right? So they won't deal with certain men if they are a certain sign, right? Right. So when you really go back into the zodiac sign, you go deep and go back to ancient Babylon, which is rooted in witchcraft, and a modern day so-called zodiac sign is just folly. It means nothing. It's vanity, right? But a lot of our women, they actually put stock into this, and they actually won't deal with a man if he a particular sign, right? And they go to show you the superstition and the folly of our nation, and you women, of our nation, that you need to understand this. So let's get into this lesson, right? For the women, I want to make this. I'm gonna try to be nice as I possibly can, but we're really not nice guys. You know what I'm saying? But we do love our women, but we ain't with the BS, As you sisters that been following me, you understand how we get down. We pretty stern men, right? And we ain't with the ways of the world. So it is what it is. We tell you straightforward what it is. That said Yahweh Bahashim Yahushua. Either you're gonna get in line or unsubscribe. That's all I can tell you. So let's go here. So about 7 out of 10 women actually you know, get all into the zodiac signs. And, it's just one of the things of the world, right? This is another one of those things that the women and the men get into, but it's more centered towards the women because women put a lot of stock into this, and it's folly. It's superstition. It's like saying don't split a pole, right? That pole don't play no part in your life, right? It's just a superstition. So let's get to the origin of this. And this all go back into witchcraft. You know what I'm saying? And that's why the scriptures say our people destroy for lack of knowledge because they under these enchantments, these spells. And we can, I can do this lesson. It's going to be some of our women, right? I think you sisters already know what time it is. But the women outside the truth, they still going to put stock into this. They still going to think this stuff is real, right? Let's get into this right here. It says the origins of the zodiac signs include Greek gods. Do you hear this? That's how you got Mercury and Jupiter and all this other crazy shit, Make a long story short, if you're a sister, don't fool with this. Leave this shit alone, right? And don't put no kind of energy and stock into this, all right? And if you was doing it, you got to stop it. It says the origin of zodiac signs include Greek gods and goddess associated with them, as well as Babylonian astronomers. This goes back to ancient Babylon, right? Who first divided the zodiac into 12 signs. I'm gonna get into this right here. Aries, right? And you got people when they, hear their particular sign, they light up. You know what I mean? It gets their attention because they under these enchantments. But you got to come from under the thinking of this place. It says Aries in Greek mythology. Do you hear this? Aries is the god of war, and people associated with this sign are said to be passionate and energetic. So our people get into the, you got our women into doing witchcraft, they into the tarot card readings. You know what I'm saying? They into going to see psychics. They into the zodiac signs. This all this stuff across the board that leads to witchcraft, right? You got some women conjuring up spirits, right? They messing with Ouija boards, doing voodoo, hoodoo, praying to the ancestors. It's all complete madness, right? So let's get back into this. But you have to know the origin of these things so you come out of this. It says Leo. I'm going to the next one. It says the Nemean lion was a symbol in ancient Greece and Rome. Go back to these damn Edomites, right? And represented by the zodiac sign Leo in mythology. It says the hero Hercules killed Nemean lion, which symbolized victory over death. Capricorn. It says Capricorn represents the Greek god Pan, right? Taurus. It says the goddess Lake Shemai. It says Taurus is said to represent prosperity. Gemini, the lord of Mercury. It says Cancer. Though this all go back to Greek mythology, then Babylon, from the ancient Babylon, philosophies and witchcraft and all this madness that they got into, and they studied the stars and astrology. And it is some truth to the astronomy part, right? But you don't dip and dabble with none of this. The zodiac sign is folly. Now, when you go into astronomy, they had in ancient Babylon, right? You had um, astronomers that would watch the celestial bodies like the moon, the sun, etc., to see, to predict the times and the tides and so on and so forth. There's a lot of shit you don't want to mess with. And it goes back into witchcraft. You just need to leave all this alone. And this stuff, don't let this stuff have a hold on you. You got to let all this go. It says the Babylonians divided the zodiac into 12 signs around the end of the 15th century BC. Well, there you go. The names of some of these constellations are similar to those used today, right? So it's going back into some heavy witchcraft, and you got Jake women, you know what I'm saying? I've saw videos of this. They'll be messing with the tarot cards. They'll be, messing with, the Ouija board, right? They'll be, you know, going into the zodiac sign readings and all that. That's all going back into witchcraft, right? You don't need to partake in none of that folly. And none of that shit means anything. Anybody can feel any particular way on any given day. So it's folly. It says superstition. And that's something that we have to break down with our people, going back into the false hell doctrine. That's a superstition that's on Jake. Going into all these other things that you've been taught, that you have learned, these bad habits that you picked up in this place, right? And it's a superstition that, like I said, Jake won't split a pole. Jake, they do all these little stupid shit, man, in this society. And you got this so-called deaf black culture, right? What they eat, black eyed peas on New Year's Eve or whatever. All these superstition, right? Knock on wood, that's another one. But it don't mean nothing. It's all folly. It says superstition. Let's go here. I'm gonna show you something. It says at the top, a belief or practice resulting from ignorance. Do you hear this? It says a belief or practice resulting from ignorance, right? Let's go here. And this is a deal breaker for a lot of women. When you tell them your birthday or whatever, they will bug out on you. You know what I'm saying? That's why we don't deal with none of that folly, man. We ain't got time for none of it.